Mike's Daily Podcast.
Oh, this is a ginormous show today.
Ginormous.
And today we are going to have, it's FFF episode 1233. My name is Mike Matthews. Write that down. Mike. Okay, don't. Mike Matthews. And this is a show called
Mike's Daily Podcast,
where what I do is I explore this world that we live in and kind of give you a fresh perspective.
Mike's Daily Podcast
on things. I'm excited about a interesting little thing that will get you festering because it is a creative little spiel. It's something, and it is so real. It's a podcast segment I call Note to Self.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
The debut of Note to Self we'll do on the show. Plus, we'll hear from
Mike's
Benita,
Daily,
the Disgruntled Fiddle Player
Podcast,
and the Brewmaster.
Yeah!
I went for a walk with Nick yesterday. I'm meeting all these people, these fellow dog walkers. Nick is in his early 20s. He's studying coding. Not codeine. That's a drug. And drugs are bad, okay?
That is not appropriate behavior, okay?
So, he's doing the coding, and he was telling me, his wife works for a nice company in San Francisco, and they were putting on their holiday party. And originally, they were going to do it with the Cirque Musica Soleil thing that's going on in San Francisco, but apparently someone died. One of the engineer, stage manager people I don't know how exactly it happened, but they got killed. And so they had to postpone the show, and they couldn't do the holiday company party at this Cirque. So they instead went to this nice restaurant in San Francisco called Alexander's. And Nick, who I walk dogs with, walk Basil the Boxer with, he asked the waiter, said, hey, you've got this menu that's this prefix menu. Look who just walked in. And I don't want to order off that. May I order off this other menu that says you've got this specially made steak made from a cow that is massaged every day in Japan. It's a special. They lovingly massage this meat, and it's the most yes, as strange as that sounds, it's the most expensive steaks out of Japan. I would like that. And they're like, let's check with the manager. Okay, yeah, that's fine. So he orders this 9-ounce steak. He could have gotten a 12-ounce, but he was like, this might be expensive. I'll just get the 9-ounce. The bill for his steak came out to over $400. Yes, and because it's a special Japanese, I forget the name of it, A5 something. Oh, look who else just walked in. So I was like, how did it taste? How was it? He said, it was so good. I go, what, did it come with a potato? He's like, no, just the steak. Over $400. Wow. So a couple of people walked in. Hi, Mike. It's Benita, the rodeo queen. How you doing? You're bald. And I'm the Disgruntled Fiddle Player. Tell you what. What? My wife has just discovered that you're bald. Yeah. No hair on top of the head. I am like a human thermometer. I walk into a room, I instantly know it's cold. That's why I'm always wearing a snow cap. Something cloth on my head. Mike, I like that look. You do, Benita? Yeah, it's all manly. It's all man stuff. Cause it's like saying, I don't need big girly hair on the top of my head. I don't need my hair to be spiked up like I'm a boy band from the 90s. I don't like it. Thank you, Benita. You're welcome. Bye. Bald's good. All right. It was good to hear from her. Mike, she is the love of my life. That's wonderful, this Disgruntled Fiddle Player. And someone else walked in as well.
Hello, Mike. I make the root beer. I'm the brewmaster. Oh, have some delicious root beer.
I am. Oh, this root beer looks so good. Oh, boy, that's tasty. Thank you, Brewmaster.
Don't mention it.
It sounded like I had to go far away to get the root beer, even though he had just poured it for me right there. But that's you were just imagining that. Imagination. It's a good thing, isn't it? Well, I had this thing to tell you about, other than the steak story. I wanted to talk to you about something people are doing a lot of these days. Now, they've been doing it a lot for a long time, actually. Selfies. But have you noticed when people do selfies of themselves, you've heard the statement, the expression duck face. People, they see themselves and they can control their face, sort of like looking in a mirror. And they go, I don't want to take a picture of me with my normal face. I'm going to change my face. I'm going to make my smile look a little bit, or open my eyes a little bit more so my eyes look bigger. Trying to accentuate.
And here's today's podcast picture.
It's a selfie of me. Trying to manipulate my face to make what I think looks better. No, it's not. It's a picture of a Christmas tree. Another Christmas tree in our Christmas tree meme. And it's at the mall, the local mall, close to where I work on the weekends. Beautiful. Another big tree. See that at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com, where you can also, speaking of Christmas and whatnot, participate in this segment called
Yuletide Personalized MP3 for Thee Contest.
Good morning, Mr. Matthews.
Yes, it is a contest where you simply email me, MIKES-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. Tell me what you love or hate about the show, or what you love or hate about Christmas, or what you love or hate about anything. Matt Damon. And if we read it on this show, you will be given a wonderful MP3 greeting. It will be emailed to you from all the Cafe Anyway characters, wishing you a very Merry Christmas, Happy Yuletide, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, whatever you feel like celebrating. Winterfest! Whatever you feel like celebrating. So speaking of emails and the like and comments.
Oh my god!
Email for email and your calm and not so calm mess.
Ooh, a little Beyonce.
I have been getting emails for me email, but actually they're not for this show. They're for a show I do on the country station that I work for, Country Crossroads Radio, which I'm on the weekend, Saturday and Sunday in the afternoon. Join me then, won't you? And this guy named Brian from Toronto, Canada, he emails me. He's been emailing me the past couple weekends. And here's one of them. Generally, they sound something like this. All caps. Hi, Mike. Love the songs you are playing today. And I wrote him back in normal font, not all caps. Great. Thanks, Brian. Normal punctuation. I appreciate hearing from you. Have a great week, Mike. Let's see. Here's another one he wrote me. Oh, this is a good one. Hope High. It starts off with Hope High, Mike. All caps. Today I heard George Jones, and I'm reading it like it's all caps. Christmas. I heard a George Jones Christmas song on Robbie's show called Me and Mom and Santa Claus. Santa Space Claus. Hope you can play this song on your show next week. Thanks, Brian from Toronto. So that's pretty cool, huh? That this online radio station, which actually plays on an AM station in Georgia. It's on a radio station in a town called Tequila, Georgia. And this guy, Brian, is enjoying my show, even though he's in Canada, hearing it on Canada. Here's one more. Hi, Mike. Yes, again, all caps. Love your show today. Do you have any Christmas songs by George Jones and Tammy Wynette? P.S. Brian from Toronto. So he loves the George Jones, apparently. I would imagine Brian's not very old since he's using all caps. Or maybe he's someone who just discovered a computer lying on the side of the road and decided to start writing on it and doesn't know how to take cap lock off. At any rate, it was great for him to reach out. I don't know if he's listening to this podcast. I'm just happy he's listening to the radio show. And to any of you others that are listening to this who listen to the radio show, thank you. It's a fun country show. You may not like country music, but it's such a wide swath that we play a huge variety. It kind of crosses all kinds of borders because we also play bluegrass and Americana. We were playing Sturgill Simpson. Sturgill Simpson is up for New Artist of the Year. We were playing his stuff. He's like in the overall category for the Grammys. Up with, what's that band? The Chainsmokers and others. He's nominated for a Grammy. So it's a pretty cool station. But if you want to check out my website, MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com, click on the Amazon link and buy whatever it is you're going to buy that helps support us. There's also the, what is that, PayPal. You can help us out that way. You'll get a special greeting from all the Cafe Anyway characters. All the past podcast pictures are there and past interviews I've done. Oh, which I don't know how many more I'm going to do interviews. Into an interview, which is what we would call this segment.
Into an interview.
That was hot. Yeah, that's not going to happen much anymore. I know I've got a page on Facebook called Into an Interview, which I think I have 0 followers for. Everybody's jumping on the Mike's Daily Podcast page, which is facebook.com/Mike's Daily Podcast. And go there and like the show there if you would. But the last band I had on, they did not give me any information about the concert that I was supposedly invited to go to for free. My name would have been on the guest list, supposedly. Nobody followed up with me, nothing. I posted the show anyway, the interview, and my one humongous fan, Sylvia. Hi, Sylvia. I'm waving to you now. The awesome Sylvia, she said, that show was pretty darn long. And I'm not going to take away from this show by having on people that don't give me tickets to their shows anyway. So I think I'm going to do away with the interview is what I'm saying. Because people generally don't like the music. I try and pick music that I think will, appeal to people. There's this one guy, his name's Michael. He is constantly emailing me bands, artists, that he said, Mike, you should interview this person. And I've interviewed, I think, over 20 of his artists. And some of them have been really good. There's this one girl, Nikki English. She is fantastic. She's beautiful. She's got an amazing voice. I don't think Michael doesn't represent her anymore. Doesn't promote her anymore. But the people that he's had, I've had some of his people. Oh my gosh, they were awful. But I put them on anyway. I figure, heck, maybe you have an open mind. But you know what? You don't. And I appreciate that. You don't have an open mind to all music. I'm sure to a lot of music. But if I play you a song that is crap, you're not going to want to listen to that show. So I think I'm going to pretty much do away with the Into the Interviews. And I haven't returned any of Michael's emails. And I'm sorry, Michael, if you're listening to this right now. But the past couple artists... Oh, and he keeps giving me this one artist over and over again. And I've had him on a couple of times. He's an interesting guy. I won't say his name, but he keeps sending him back. Mike, interview him again. Mike, interview him again. I'm not a frickin' dog. Leave me alone. Can I have some more of that root beer?
Sure, Mike, go ahead.
When Benita talked, for some reason, it really messed up my throat today, but I love her anyway. So, you know what? We're going to get to this new segment called Note to Self.
Note to self.
It's pretty interesting.
Matt Damon is defending the Great Wall against accusations of whitewashing. He says, the whole idea of whitewashing, I take that very seriously. He cited the 1962 film Geronimo and its casting of white American actors in the role of the Native American chief as an example. Directed by legendary Chinese filmmaker Zhang Yimou, The Great Wall is set 1,000 years ago and stars Damon as an English mercenary faced with a slew of fantastical monsters. Since the film's trailer was released earlier this year, The Great Wall has been slammed by critics for featuring Damon as a lead character. We have to stop perpetuating the racist myth that only a white male can save the world. Fresh off the boat, actress Constance Wu wrote in a widely circulated post announcing the film. This according to Entertainment Weekly on MSN. Speaking to the AP, Damon said he believes the 30-second trailer blew up as it did and faced such a wide range of controversy thanks to the age of clickbait stories. Clickbait. Possibly why Trump got into office. Clickbait. Hillary Clinton eats young babies. Click on this. It suddenly becomes a story, Damon said, because people click on it versus the traditional ways that a story would get vetted before it could get to that point. Eventually, you stop clicking on some of those more outrageous things because you just realize there's nothing to the story when you get to it. Following the initial release of the trailer and subsequent backlash, Yimou, the director, released a statement to Entertainment Weekly saying that the film is, quote, deeply rooted in Chinese culture, with one of the largest Chinese casts ever assembled, and is being made at tentpole scale for a world audience. He also noted that Damon's role was not originally conceived for a Chinese actor. He said the arrival of his character in our story is an important plot point. There are 5 major heroes in our story, and he is one of them. The other 4 are Chinese. And the other thing I wanted to bring up was the amazing... Well, you know, we were discussing how people shape their reality, change their reality with the selfies, and they look at the selfie and they go, I don't want to look like how I normally look, so I'm going to mutate my face to look like this. And how a lot of... Because of the internet, we can change reality. As Donald Trump tweets every day, trying to change reality. And he changed the reality on the campaign trail, spreading so many lies. And then the same has been happening in Europe. And there's been a lot of fake news that helped change what happened in Italy and Australia. Calling on his blog for immediate elections, 5-star founder Beppe Grillo wrote in Italy, from next week we will start to vote for our government policies online and for our government team. He added, the regime's propaganda and all its lies are the first victims of this referendum. The times have changed. Sovereignty belongs to the people. The 5-star movement and the Northern League have been likened to the anti-establishment vote, which helped push Britain out of the European Union in a referendum held earlier this year, and has also been compared to backers of President-elect Donald Trump. Much the same was said of the populist right-wing candidate for president of Austria, Norbert Hofer, but he lost an election Sunday to a leftist candidate. Alexander Van der Bellen was the leftist candidate who was the preferred choice of the country's establishment. Grillo has distanced himself from the hard-right anti-establishment parties in Europe, claiming his 5-star movement is more interested in ecology and online democracy than xenophobia and nationalism. Mattarella is likely to resist calls for an election and instead nominate a caretaker government to first pass a new electoral law because the current one only applies to the lower house. It was framed on the assumption that elections to the Italian Senate would be annulled by the referendum. He may nominate as caretaker prime minister a member of Renzi's Democratic Party, such as Finance Minister Pier Carlo Padoan, since the party remains the largest group in Parliament. Alternately, he may bring in a non-political government of experts, possibly run by Senate Speaker Pietro Grasso, before fresh elections in 2017 or 2018, this according to the Los Angeles Times. As voting patterns in the referendum were published on Monday, it emerged that a surprising large number of voters, 54%, told exit pollsters they rejected the reforms purely on merit rather than considering themselves anti-establishment voters. According to this group, which included former Prime Minister Mario Monti, do you like my Italian pronunciations? The reforms hobbled the checks and balances enshrined in Italy's 1948 constitution by reducing the voting rights of senators in Parliament's upper house. But one expert said anti-system anger was also evident in young voters and voters in the depressed south of the country, including towns like Palermo in Sicily, where the no vote hit the percentage 72. As I hit that number. Renzi, 72%. Renzi, a 41-year-old reformer, came to be viewed as an icon of the Italian and European establishment by the young after just 2.5 years in office, said Giovanni Orsini, a professor of politics in Rome's Luis University. They believe politics will not solve their problems, and they voted to punish Renzi rather than find solutions. They thought, I have no hope and no job. What can I take it out on? How about the guy who's on TV 12 hours a day? I wonder if that's going to happen to Trump. As we go outside a cafe anyway, we're bringing Mike's Daily Podcast, somewhere in Podcastro Valley. If it's, the voters that put him in are going to go, I don't know. I love the Italian accent. So have a great day. I hope you liked my Italian accent. I hope you liked my gazpacho yesterday and my pasta the day before that. Next show, we are going to have the wonderful Madame Rootabega, Valentino, and Bison Bentley.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. Email Mike now at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!